Hey y'all, it's Zakia, your girl Miss Queenly and Confident, founder of Queenly and Confident Brands, and it's from Stuck to Start. So y'all probably like, what in the world? What is this ring? Y'all, I'm in the car, so I have this set up here so that I can kind of get this message out. And it's almost like a declaration and accountability to myself for something that I am just promising myself to do. Today I had a chance to share on social media with some startup entrepreneurs, and I had the opportunity to just kind of give them some bits and tools, kind of talk about, you all believe it or not, the difference between a profile and a page. Just the opportunity to kind of encourage those who may or may not have one for the business to go ahead and get it, and to talk about some of the little intricate things people may not know about, social media or Facebook, because social media gets a bad rap. But I think it gets a bad rap more so because of all of the personal junk that people are encountering when it comes to the uncouthness or the lack of etiquette, that is, if you will, with social media. And so I was really excited to share with those ladies, because I love social media. I've built some really great relationships with people, have found some really awesome folks who have been coaches, who are turned to mentors, who become friends, and so I am an advocate. I am pro social media all the way. And so I'm sharing that because the person that provided me with the opportunity numerous times, you all, had been kind of sharing with me about certain things she thought I'd be good at doing, and whatever. And it was not that I necessarily go off of what people are saying, but one of the things that I appreciate is that the person begins to share with me based on what they know in their spirit that I'm not doing, or where I am not, I'm only doing just enough, or the surface thereof of my potential. And I think in so many instances, there are a number of us who are like doing just enough to hit the surface of purpose, or it's just enough to hit the surface of potential. And in some cases, it's been called hiding, as far as it relates to me. It's been, called, what do you call it? Kind of a more or less over the top modesty to some degree. It's preference of where you may sometimes feel being good, being in the background. Yep, and that is me. I'm fine in the background, helping, putting together pieces and details. I really am. However, there are some of us who are called, you all, to specifically be in front, who are called to be mouthpiece to the masses. And sometimes that whole thing of being that mouthpiece to the masses, or sometimes people will hear the prophecy that they've been called to speak to the masses, or or to the world internationally, things of that sort, and it just kind of spooks people out. But here's the thing. But I want you to know, if somebody has actually prophesied that or spoke that into your life, understand that cannot be fulfilled, and God will not allow that to be fulfilled until you have developed in the manner in which is going to be most appropriate and best to carry that out. God's not going to send you to some place. He's not going to send you to Malaysia or Maui to go speak to people, but you haven't developed the character, you haven't developed the confidence, you haven't developed the connections in order to get that done. Because although somebody would say, well, I don't need connections, God does it, he does it. Yeah, God's going to do it, but he's going to, in many cases, he connects us to people so that his will and the things that he has willed for our life will get done. It's just, it's just that simple as far as what I know and have experienced. But I will tell you that also too, in his building and his shaping and molding of us as well, And you all, none of this can happen unless we decide to get out of our way. And I'm telling you all this fresh off of the cuff of somebody who is in the process of getting out of her way. I was sharing with you all just a few minutes ago, the person invited me to come and speak today, always saying things that I should do and you should do and you will be good at this, da da da. And this is a person I respect their candor towards me, their honesty, their evaluation of me as a person, and I have slowly begun to embrace. I know there's some things I could do and I don't have any problem with that, but I'm not always, and have not always been easy with fully embracing those things that I know, because in many cases, they set in my spirit. Some of them even cause a leap in my spirit, but I've been afraid to act on them. Whereas now, as I said, I am fresh into this moving out of my own way. It is becoming more of a thing. I'm just taking a chance, and wherever it lands, it lands. It does. What I have been thinking is that if I don't take these chances, I don't ever want to live with this whole thing of regret or wishing shoulda, because of me being in my own way, and me being in my own way has sometimes caused missed opportunities. It has caused some discomfort. It has caused some shame, some embarrassment, because of the fact that it almost looks like you might have something going on with your character, or people to question or whatever, because of the fact that you're not a place of fully being comfortable with, delivering, or executing what it is that, you may have even been saying, but not fully at a point of fully doing, Wow. That was, that was very therapeutic to say, because it's a journey. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna pretend. It's a journey, and it is a journey that involves some shaping, that involves some pruning, that involves some advising, some correction, all of those things. And I think that so many times, there are people who know purpose or believe that God is calling them to do something, but we sometimes don't want to take the time and the necessary time that's needed to fully let God do what he needs to do when it comes to us, and so in that respect, sometimes we may jump out with things prematurely when we know that it's not necessarily the time to do that or to touch this or whatever that might be. Yeah. And so I hope this message, that I'm sharing, because it kind of is, as I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, it's kind of like going to several directions. But I know that this needs to be said, because I know I'm not the only person that struggles with this. I know I'm not the first nor the last person who will have a struggle with this. And I want there to be a less number of people dealing with this crap than I, had to do. And so it's time to stop hiding. In the words of Cheryl Woods, playtime is over. It is past time for us, want to play second. It's past time for us coming up with these excuses. It's past time, wanting these false pictures of perfection and being able to only do it this way or whatever. It's so time out for that. And there are some people who are just so powerful and so, and I got one person in mind right now, and I'm really gonna reach out to her. I want to call. This has been on my mind since the beginning of the year, when the last time I saw her. But it's time, and I think we allow these things that we see, and I dislike social media for that. We have these perceptions and things that we see other people are doing, or these visions that we have, but we maybe cannot execute it fully in what the vision is that we saw. And so we're afraid, because we won't even take the baby steps to even try to get the stuff done. You know, I've been told I've been told over and over again, is using what you got, you know, using what you got for your now, you know. And I honestly believe that, you know, too many of us are just so afraid because of the fact we want limelight, we want spotlight, we want glitters, we want the colors, coordinations, the branding to be this, the branding to be that, or whatever. And when in many cases, some people just need us. We are our brand. They just need us. Come naked, raw, and unashamed. And so I hope this message, you know, resonated with somebody. I hope that it helped you. I hope that it more than anything, you know, just not helped you, not inspired you, motivated you. I hope that this video causes you to get up, move, and to do something. Y'all, I'm just like, yes, it's time to do it. You all just would not, you know, believe that some of the challenges that I faced since I, you know, decided to step out and you know, do my own thing. I mean, when I tell you the computer problems have been major and I'm still finding a way to get them done, it's not easy. This is like, you know, that season where, you know, sometimes people don't want to talk about, you know, when everything seems like it's going left, when you pushing so hard to make it go right. Yeah, that's the season of life that I'm in. But I made a decision. I recognized what this was. I recognized fully what I was going through. And I made that decision and said that I am not going to stop. I am going to keep doing this no matter what, because what I do know is that God honors obedience. And he sees and understands your sacrifices, and the sacrifices that you made. Sacrifices only come when we surrender. We surrender. I like to call them a sacrificial surrender. Yeah, that's what happens with you. It's a sacrificial surrender. So, again, I just pray that this causes you to. This is like a call to action that none like ever before. That you actually move and do what you've been called to do. Because time is of the essence, and because time is of the essence, you don't want to be caught with your work undone. All right, that's enough. I know I was like, God, that was Zakia. This is Zakia, Miss Queenly Confident. Be sure to visit us at queenlyandconfident.com or ZakiaKyles.com or from StuckToStart.com, any of our brands. And if you are looking to share your message with the masses, we are in the process of taking guest bloggers. I love to have guest bloggers. I love to have other people come share their messages and speak their truth, you know, and use what they have in their hands now to help people get what they want. All right, take care, y'all. Have a great weekend. Bye bye.